Well, it's a very wet day in this part of Perthshire, quite miserable for the end of April actually. But this evenings and night the fairies start to move camp. 1st of May is Beltane, so the fairies are on the move. None of this stuff was here when I arrived. This has all been brought to my garden by the fairies. This of course is the wild garlic. So I'll be picking a few of these, but I want to draw your attention to, I was talking about the other day ago, there's a yellow nettle. This is a yellow nettle. It's more commonly known as the Archangel plant. Archangel. And it's a friend of all females. I'll pick it. This one. Can I take you, fairy? This plant is exceedingly good for all menstrual problems. And if you experience as a lady any stomach cramps associated with your monthly cycle, this plant and a tonic will soothe out any problems in your stomach. It's also a great cleanser of the blood, and it also is very good for anything associated with your urinary tracts. So any trouble having a wee, any pain involved, this plant is what you need. It's a very beautiful yellow flower, favoured by the bees in the springtime. So I'm not taking them all. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to have an afternoon cuppa, which I rightly deserve. I've been busy on the computer today, doing lots of loads, and I'm going to listen to some classical music and enjoy this. So we have a few more here. You see, where are they? There they are, stacked up against my peat there. And I noticed that I've also got, well, apart from Welsh poppies of course, I've got a woodhaven here. Look, there's a woodhaven. So that's been brought in by the fairies. Yes, I think I've got another one here. Yes, I think I have. I'll take a little sprig of the woodhaven and we'll add it to the tonic, shall we? I'll come out later and get the garlic for my soup. Archangel. So there we go, we put in some ransoms, the wild garlic, into my soup. And I'll return that to the stove. I'll add some more stock and water later, but I've also, let me put it to the light, I've infused the Archangel into a cup of boiling water. It's been sitting there for about 15 minutes, and I shall have a sip for you. My goodness. It's got a very earthy taste actually. Very earthy indeed. It's not unpleasant, it's just it just tastes very much like I don't know if you were a child and ever ate earth, but I certainly did. But a spoonful when I was about 2 or 3 years old. Yeah, it's very, very heavy and earthy. But it's got a nice aftertaste. It's like a, what is it like, Andrew? It's a bit like cabbage, actually, the taste of cabbage. That's the first time I've actually taken Archangel Yellow Nettle. But I don't have any issues in regards to why I should take it. Be careful as well though, it is a sedative. It helps with insomnia, so it shouldn't really be drank until bedtime. It definitely helps the for any stomach pains, and definitely for menstrual problems. Chamomile tea is very good as well, but this is this is free in the garden in spring, and it takes 30 seconds to do this, so it's pretty good actually. Well, let's say 30 seconds, you know what I'm talking about. Just pick it, stick it in the boiling water, let it fuse for as long as you want. I'll keep that, I'll drink it a little bit just now, and then I'll keep the rest, and I'll do another refill before bedtime, see how I sleep. Hello again. It's still the 30th day of April. I'm in the kitchen, so you probably get a bit of an echo. It's not a long comment, it's just to say I'm very pleased that the bees are actually, well, they've made up their mind they're going to stay with me this time. So they're in the nest box, and I've seen them back and forward most of today, despite the rain. They've been back and forward, so I'm quite chuffed actually. It's very reassuring that the bees will choose the house because there's good energy in the property. I was also looking at the whole idea today of being miserable kind of weather locally. And a lot of people get kind of down in the dumps about poor weather at this time of year, but I take a different approach, and I think it's great to have a kind of miserable wet day. It gets the garden moving, of course, the rain water, but indoors you can tackle all these jobs that you would not normally get round to if the sun was blazing outside, or indeed it was a half decent day. So there's never a lost day as far as I'm concerned. There's always something to do and get on with, and quite happy with that. So, well, that's about it actually. I'll probably go and do some foraging tomorrow. It's the first day of May, as I mentioned already. It's Beltane in Scotland, so the weather's clearing up, and the fairies will be packing up the stuff and ready to move. So ideally this would have been a perfect night to have been out camping. It's too sodden out there, to be honest, but I would have loved to have been somewhere up the Kelty or something, camped out, and listening to the fairies moving throughout the night. In actual fact, they might actually come to my house. There's certainly fairies in this house, because I notice often that there's so many movements in the picture frames. I mean, I don't measure, and I don't have a spirit level for the picture frames to make sure they're perfectly straight and everything. I just notice that in the morning that their picture frames are all squint, and that's generally a sign that the fairies have been mischievous during the night. So if you've got any pictures which keep slanting, it's not your house has got subsidence. It's more likely the fairies just playing games throughout the night. I knew there was a purpose for putting the camera on again, despite talking about the bees and the fairies. It was to mention that this Archangel liquid, which I've drank, it is a sedative. It's a very calming thing. I wouldn't say quite sedative, but it's certainly very calming. So if you've got any anxiety disorders or stress, take a cup of the Archangel yellow nettle tea. And I wouldn't really call this tea actually, I just call it an infusion. It's just boiling water poured over the fresh plants. But it's been sitting a while, and I've had a bit this afternoon. I'm not going to go into details because it's more feminine. But if you do any research on Archangel, you may find that a lot of the health benefits on Archangel are aimed specifically at women. I mentioned earlier about the menstrual cycles, but also other female situations which occur. This is the tonic for them.